most of what I do is I do cleanup work on sculptures. So after the bigger part of it's done, I go in and I clean up all of the detail and I make things nice and sharp and pretty. I make molds either by hand or using, I don't want to say using tools because that's also exceedingly nebulous, but I make all of the molds. I do all of the soft goods, so I do the costuming and that sort of thing. I do a lot of the drafting for the 3D printer, and I do almost exclusively all of the painting. So anytime something needs a faux finish, or I also do painting. I don't want to say like real art painting because that's just insulting, but I do all of the, if there's paint involved, chances are I'm doing it. So I do airbrushing, I do gun work, I do brushes, and basically anything else. If it involves paint, I'm on it. And then on top of that, I also do some of the follow-up work. So if there are itty-bitty, tiny, delicate things that need to be done as far as sculpting or welding or mold making or casting or whatever else, basically if it requires anal retentiveness and attention to detail, that is what I do. I like the challenge because it's not easy, and that's part of why I'm good at it, because when I get my mind set on something, I will finish it, which is also part of what makes me a good, not just a painter, but a good 3D modeler and a good coder. I started learning how to code in Python in order to be able to run Raspberry Pis, and I also learned how to code Arduino chips. And coding is unforgiving. You're either right or you're wrong. And if you're wrong, it doesn't tell you how you're wrong. It's just like, nope, doesn't work, and it just goes on. If you're right, however, it works. And everything that I do, being so minute and so detail-oriented, makes it a challenge. It's not just these big swaths of color or anything else. It's when you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. And very, very rarely when you're doing detail work is there that gray area in between. Because if I'm trying to make something look like rusted metal, I can't just throw some red oxide and some green in there and go, oh look, it looks rusted. Because if a total stranger comes up and looks at it, it's like, what the hell is that? Then I obviously didn't do my job right at all.